Ultrakill. It is a game we have all probably heard of at least once, with the countless memes of either Minos Prime yelling Judgment, the Judge of Hell Gabriel, or the Robot V1 that people are extremely attracted to for some reason or another. You probably know the name or some familiar faces, and there's a reason for that. The game is absolutely given all the hype that it has been given and deserved. Ultrakill is just one of those games where you're thrown in and just have to figure it out yourself, but that's not necessarily the case in a way. Ultrakill still holds your hand slightly and does that for the whole game, never giving you a break. What I mean by this is the way they introduce new weapons and enemies. I'm just going to start with the enemies. The way Ultrakill introduces new enemies to the player is quite interesting, and it's never different. It stays the same throughout the entire game, and it will usually put you in a room with just one of the enemies being introduced. Then, after you defeat said enemy, it'll bring a few more into the mix to see how you handle that. And after that room, the level will continue as normal, but with those new enemies added to the equation. This is a brilliant way of doing things, as most games will use a boring tutorial system like, this is a husk, it will run at you and try to attack you, making you go through the whole basic lesson for everything they introduce. That's just another thing that Ultrakill does better than other games. It indirectly teaches the player. Now, onto the weapons. Ultrakill has a wide variety of weapons to choose from. Each weapon has 3 versions to choose from, not counting alternates. With points you get from the levels, you can purchase these to help you in your journey through hell. But you can't buy the original weapon itself, you have to find it. Starting with the shotgun, you have to be a sword machine to acquire it. And all the game does to teach you how to use it is a secondary attack, with 1 sentence of flavor text, and that's how it goes for all the other weapons, such as the nail gun and railgun, with the exception of the rocket launcher that has a few more sentences of flavor text, but it's really not too overwhelming. Factoring in both how weapons and enemies are introduced to the player, it just goes to show how fast-paced of a game Ultrakill is, and that's where most of the beauty of it comes from. Ultrakill has some great gameplay and mechanics. Speaking of mechanics, there are some stupidly complex tech you can do with some insane damage that I don't even know how people understand how to figure out how to do. The Ultrakill community is really weird. And I don't mean that in a bad way, I mean that in a way that it's very split. You have people simping for the piece of metal known as V1, and when I say simping, I really mean they're down bad for him. On the merch page for Ultrakill, you can literally buy a V1 and Gabriel body pillow. Oh, and a Maurice mug. That's pretty cool. Continuing my thought, there is also a non-down bad side of the community. These people are generally just really funny and don't even get me started on the memes they make. Minor spoiler warning right here. Some of them theory crafted that when V2 dies, they didn't really die. They just pulled a Saddam Hussein and hid underground with that blood splatter they became, just being a decoy for their real hiding spot, so they can come back in Act 3. No, and I mean this genuinely. How do you guys think of this? Like, was it a joke, or were you guys genuinely just, like, that, like, in denial that V2 was going to come back in Act 3? Not to mention the whole developer community surrounding the game is really funny. Gianni, the voice actor for Gabriel, the Judge of Hell, is just amazing. I mean, he literally did an entire stream as a VTuber of his character in the game, well in character, and playing Ultrakill. Can it get any better than that? Now on to my personal experience with Ultrakill. A few weeks ago, my friend started talking about Ultrakill and that he might get it to see if he lives up to the hype. And I decided to go look at it on the Steam page and realized how much of a good game it seemed to be, and decided, why not? I didn't realize how addictive the game would be. I mean, the gameplay loop is absolutely amazing. The game itself is not even finished, and it's still great. Even after you complete the current amount of levels available, that are based on the layers of hell, mind you, you can P-rank every level for each act, and if you complete every level for an act, you will unlock a Prime Sanctum, which contains an extremely hard boss. And as of writing this video, I've only beaten the boss for Act 1, and I've not started to P-rank Act 2, as I'm not gonna lie, it looks way too hard, so I've been putting it off. In conclusion, would I recommend Ultrakill? Most definitely yes. Ultrakill is a game that I think everyone should at least look into. I'm not even that big of an action game fan, or even an FPS game fan either. But I still had a blast playing it, and it's still one of my all-time favorite games, aside Delta and Nutshell. I'm curious to see as all your guys' experiences with Ultrakill are, so go comment down below what you think of the game, and consider subscribing, joining the Discord server, even attending one of my streams sometime. I stream every day at random times most of the time, so turn on notifications to know when I'm live. I hope every single one of you has a wonderful rest of your day, and goodbye.